Hey Nathan, how are you?
I'm,
This is startup week.
I'm doing awesome. It's my favorite week of the year. I'm excited to be here. I'm excited every day.
That's awesome. So you traveled all the way from Reading, Pennsylvania to attend this place?
Yeah, that's exactly right. I went to Penn State Berks,
Okay.
so that's where I went to school. But when you get involved with the startup community at Penn State, it really interconnects every campus across the Commonwealth. So,
Okay, that's exciting.
yeah,
And where is Berks exactly? It's uh, northwest, right? Northeast.
from where we're sitting in State College, it's mostly east,
Okay,
a little bit south.
got it. Go southeast. Okay, that's nice.
Yep, Berks County. It's an hour outside of Philadelphia.
I see. I think one of my friends got a speeding ticket in Berks County, so I might reach out to you for like help with attorneys
Yeah,
or things
yep,
like that.
yep.
But hey, here's the vibe. I think Penn State sort of has immaculate vibe wherever you go, right? It's a matter of time before you find your group of friends who end up doing all the nerdy stuff that you like to do, and that's about it. So tell me more about Reading. That's where you grew up, right?
Yes, yeah. I grew up in Reading, Pennsylvania.
Oh, Reading. I
It's
see.
yeah, it's spelled like reading, so everyone pronounces it that way, but it is Reading, Pennsylvania.
Okay.
It's a city that has a bright future, and that's how I'd put it. There's a lot of
Wow.
economic development going on right now, but just a few years ago, it was actually ranked maybe one or two poorest small city in America. So I try to get involved with the community. There's a Berks lunchbox there too that fosters economic development through startups in the area. And yeah, it's turning into a thriving place, and I really enjoy it. You have Reading, the city, and then you have the suburbs, and you have hiking trails, and you have cool bars and live music, and I've enjoyed spending my time there.
Wait, you said cool bars and live music
Yeah, there
in
is.
in Reading?
Yeah,
Okay, if that's the case, I think it's a prospective. I want to move to this place down.
yeah. So in West Reading, which is like right over the bridge from the main center city of Reading, I like to go to Third and Spruce has live music. There's a place called the Beer Wall, which is super cool. There's live music there. I will go anywhere that there's live music, which is another reason why I love State College because there's so much live music here.
Is there? Do you think there is? I know there's First. I know there's Sharky's. P-Mans maybe.
The brewery, cafe,
Brewery. I
Cafe
hear you.
210 West.
Yes.
Um, Happy Valley Brewing Company. I mean, really, anywhere you go here, there's
Hmm.
live music.
That is live music. I think
And
you're right.
it's good live music. These are some really good bands.
It is. I agree. So that's very interesting. So did you grow up with a lot of live music when you were up and about in Reading?
So my dad used to play in a band. I actually don't play music myself, but I've always been exposed to music. And I really, really like the classic rock of the 60s and 70s. And those are real instrumentalists, and they paved the way for what rock and roll came to be. So I find that in live music today, whether it be at the First or Cafe or the brewery, Ted and the Hi-Fi's is my favorite band in State College. I'll go anywhere they're playing.
Wow.
So when I lived here in the summer, towny summer in State College, I
Mm.
was out to see live music 4 nights a week.
Wow. What, 4 nights?
Yeah, 4 nights a week.
Dude, I barely go out like 2 nights a week and I don't listen to live music at all. Very
It's
rare.
really good here. You can get an acoustic set. You can
Mm.
get rock and roll sets. You can get there are shows in the basement of Webster's. Like, when's the last time you saw? When's the last time you saw a punk show in the basement of a bookstore?
Yeah, that's right.
Like, it's really, really cool stuff.
Webster's is the vibe, right? Like it's the vibe. I still remember I went to Webster's once and I wanted to order a grilled cheese sandwich because that was pretty much the only thing on the menu. I think that was vegetarian. So I tried to order that and I think they didn't have any. They were just like, we don't sell anything that's possibly related to eating at all. If you want a coffee, I can make you one, but that's it. And then they call themselves a cafe. I'm like, dude, that's like low-key offensive. But that's my experience of web stress, and I like web stress. I really like web stress. Have you been to Elixir?
No, what is Elixir?
So Elixir is a new coffee bar that opened up about 9 months ago. Do you know where the Panera is?
Yes, I do.
So right across from Panera, there's a small little cove which sells Mediterranean food, and right next to that you have Elixir. And it's the vibe. You don't get seats there. People end up sort of cramming into that place. It's a really small place. It's a really, if you're a coffee guy, you would love that.
I'll have to try it. I haven't heard of it, but I love finding new spots. Last night I went to dinner at Tadashi,
Oh,
but the noodle Tadashi, I know there's two Tadashis
that's right.
downtown,
Yep.
but I got ramen there. It was awesome.
Wow, I'm happy for you. Tadashi is the vibe, and you're here for about a week, right?
Yeah, I've been here. Well, I've been here since last Friday. Today's Thursday. I'm
Hmm.
going to be going home today.
Okay,
But yeah, it's been an awesome week here.
that's awesome. So, to my viewers, Nathan Bonslaver is one of our entrepreneurs at Penn State, and the reason I know him is because he was sort of the first name that popped up when you look up Penn State startups, and he co-founded this startup called CarToCamp, which is a hiker's favorite. Anybody who has any inclination to hike should definitely check out CarToCamp. And Nathan, along with his friends, Robert and Kevin, right? So those are your co-founders. They ended up co-founding CarToCamp in their junior year, I want to say, and that is the towny summer that he's talking about. So I want to go over CarToCamp right now. So first of all, you were at Berks, and you're a 2017 to 2021 Penn Stater, right?
Yeah, I was 2017 to 2022.
Got it.
Yeah.
So you were in your junior year at Berks.
Yep.
You were a mechanical engineer.
Yep.
Doing some really cool thermodynamics.
Well, yeah, I was doing thermodynamics. How cool it really was is another question.
Yeah, it's pretty much useless. No, I'm just kidding. And then how did CarToCamp come up? So how did you tell me more about what was the instance that had you come up with this idea, or what did you see that inspired you to end up coming up with this idea? Was it like a love at first sight thing?
Well, so I grew up camping. I grew up camping through Boy Scouts. I started backpacking through college. My parents had a travel trailer, so I camped and explored in every way you can think of when I was young. And then one summer in college, now was the summer of COVID, my friends and I, we all had internships lined up for the summer, and then those all fell through. So we're like, we're not just going to sit around all summer. What are we going to do? I called up my best friend Nick, and I was like, do you want to go on a road trip around the whole country for 2 months? And he was like, yeah, sure. So 3 days
Wow.
later, 3 days after basically the inception of the idea, we were off. We were gone. So we DIY'd this sleeping platform in the back of my Subaru Outback. So it gave us a flat space to sleep in my car, in the back of my car, and we had storage space underneath. And that's exactly what we did. We spent the next 2 months traveling. We explored 22 states, 15 national parks. We backpacked deserts, climbed mountains, surfed in California.
Wow, you surfed.
Oh,
in
yeah, we did
California.
everything. And we camped for free every single night on public lands.
Wow.
So the whole trip cost me like $3,000 to see the whole country.
So this was when you were backpacking with Nick, and you basically slept behind your car, essentially.
Yeah, so we slept in the car on public lands in national forests, BLM land. And then we would go on like short 2 to 3 day backpacking trips in Montana, California, Colorado, Utah. We'd climb 14,000 foot summits. I really like mountains. We went surfing in LA. We were in Malibu. And yeah, we just road tripped it. It wasn't glamorous
Hmm.
by any measure, but it was the most optimized way of traveling I'd ever experienced. Never before had I maximized my experiences while minimizing my costs. So
Hmm.
that summer is where CarToCamp came from. When I was
Wow.
driving home from that trip, I was driving long ways across Kansas, and I remember it just hit me. I was like, well, wait a second. This was the most amazing experience I've ever had. I have an engineering degree.
Hmm.
I could probably figure out how to design sleeping platforms for other people so
That's
they can
right.
experience this.
Hmm.
And we got to work building sleeping platforms for car camping so that a lot of people out there don't have the DIY tools or knowledge to build something out like we had. So now we build them for people and ship them to them.
Okay, and this is not just for like a short trip, right? I mean, sorry, for a long trip, right? It's also for short trips where you go for a single day to maybe, I don't know. I can think of Cherry Springs from here, and just like spend the night there, and don't actually pay for an Airbnb and come back. That is awesome. So I guess the only question I have is, how is it sleeping with Nick?
I get that a lot. Two dudes in the back of a car for 2 months.
Was he a snorer?
Um, we were so tired after climbing mountains and backpacking through the desert. We were pushing our bodies to our limits. So every night we just fell asleep right away, just knocked out. So it wasn't that bad. It wasn't all that bad.
That's nice. Yeah, 2 months. Yeah, it takes. Yeah, you can build a relationship in 2 months.
Yeah.
So that's nice. But wait, Nick is not one of your co-founders, right?
No, he's not one of my co-founders. So
Mm.
when Nick was in school, he was in ROTC, so he was
Okay.
already on the track to go into the Navy and flight school
Okay.
right after he graduated. So he wouldn't have had the time to be able to start a company with me. So that's why I called up Robert and Kevin, who then started the company with me. We all met at an internship in college. I knew they were the right guys for the job, and from day one, they've been great partners.
Wow, that's awesome. And shout out to you, Nick, if you're watching this. Thank you for your service. That's awesome. Well, I love that. And you, I think Kevin and Robert, you guys were pretty much cohort mates, right? You were pretty much there in the Mechie program at Bergs. It's just that you hadn't really talked to each other till about the point of when you wanted to build CarToCamp.
So yeah, we all went through mechanical engineering together. We all interned at Carpenter Technology together. So that's how the three of us knew each other already.
Okay.
But I did know Robert for like 10 years before college. I grew up in church with him. We were in Boy Scouts together. So I actually did know him for a long time. Kevin I'd met more recently, but
Okay.
all three of us knew each other before. Actually, the way it went was I called. Who did I call first? So I had the idea for CarToCamp,
Yeah.
and within an hour of that, I called Kevin. It's like, hey, do you want to start a company? Here's my idea. And then he said, okay, you should call Robbie. And then I called Robbie, and Robbie said, well, it's not the worst idea I ever heard. And then,
I see.
which is high praise from Robbie. And then right there it was formed. I got home, we started working, and that was about 2.5 years ago.
Wow, that's awesome. And you came back from Kansas and you started working?
Yeah, so I was still in school at that point. So I got, yeah, this is really funny. I was out on the road for 2 months on that road trip, and I got home Sunday night at 8 o'clock when classes started that next Monday morning
Got it.
for the
And-
fall semester.
Wow, and this is 2020, right?
Yeah, this is 2020.
2020, so pandemic startup. I see.
Yep.
So you started in 2020, and I think a lot of people would have liked the idea of CarToCamp in 2020 as they do now as well. But I think 2020 was one of those years where people had to isolate.
Yes, that it caused an explosion in vehicle-based camping. So that's like camping inside your car, it's the van life thing, it's rooftop tents, it's any vehicle-based camping because it does allow you to get out in nature further and spread out from people. So it did explode then, but interestingly enough, we're starting to see now post-pandemic that all those people that discovered a love for the outdoors during the pandemic are staying. They're still customers of the outdoors. They're still participating in the same activities. I think Penn State actually just published a research study on that.
Got it. I think once you fall in love with outdoors, it doesn't leave you that often, right?
Yeah, yeah.
That easily. Sorry. So that's awesome. Now, I so you started this in 2020, and then you applied to InQ. InQ being the Launchbox Penn State Launchbox incubation competition. This was in 2021, and then you came to Penn State to spend your summer in 2021, right?
Yeah, that all happened in 2022.
Oh, 2022.
But yeah.
Sorry. Okay. So that was last year, essentially.
Yeah, it was last year.
So, tell me more about how InQ was. It was an entire summer in Penn State. I know you met a lot of fellow startupers from Penn State. So, tell me more about that. I want to know more about that. But
So yeah, I did do InQ, and I did a lot of Launchbox and Event Penn State sponsored programs
okay.
in my last semester at Penn State. So last spring was my final semester before graduating, and that's when I got really, really involved. InQ was part of Startup Week. Startup Week is the coolest week of the year. It's this year. It's this week right now. But
That's right.
InQ is a pitch deck competition. It's much like Shark Tank. I also did Lion Tank, which was another pitch deck competition. There were other events throughout the week, like Student Startup Showcase, Startup Market. And so that was a way for us to present our idea in a Shark Tank style pitch, and then we received funding through that, which helped us fund the early days of our company.
Okay.
And then after that, right after I graduated, I was lucky enough to be accepted into the Summer Founders Program, which is a really awesome accelerator program that Invent Penn State puts on. So the way that works is each year they choose, it was 6 teams last year, I believe it's 7 or 8 this year, but every team gets $15,000, and then the idea is you can work on your startup for the summer. So you move to State College if you don't live here already, and then you receive mentoring and advising through these from amazing coaches and other startup founders that came before you. And you have meetings every Monday to go over progress, and with dinners every Wednesday, and all kinds of events throughout the summer. So right after I graduated, I moved into Summer Founders Program. That gave me the confidence to build my company with the right strategies, and then I've been working on it full time ever since then, which brings me about a year now since graduation. But yeah, it was very influential.
Got it. So you build your startup full time. It's not like you have a job and then you do this like part time.
No, I do CarToCamp all the time.
That is so cool. Now, that's actually really cool. So tell us a little more about Summer Founders Program. Did you get to meet the big wigs of the Penn State startup community? Folks like Chevy, folks like Tom.
Yeah, you absolutely do. It blew my mind how connected some of the most successful startup founders that came from Penn State are today with the Launchbox network and with the Invent Penn State network. So when you get into a program like Summer Founders Program, they're just a phone call away, and they actually come to the events too, and you meet them in person and they talk to you for hours. And I have had the pleasure, the opportunity to receive advising from people like Ethan Wendell, the founder of Diamondback Truck Covers, which is an amazing company based out in Phillipsburg now. They started at Penn State 20 years ago.
Wow.
Ethan Wendell started making truck covers when he was a student, and now they're turning over $50 million a year. They're making 80 truck covers a day out in Phillipsburg. They have a huge team. Other people is like JT Marino. He founded Tuft and Needle. I don't know if you know about him, but that mattress company, he started a mattress company. They went from 0 to 360 million in revenue in 6 years. They bootstrapped the whole thing. Matt Brazina was influential in starting Summer Founders Program.
Yep. Yeah, I think he's still here, right? He's in State College right now as we speak.
He's in State College right now as we speak, and
Wow.
even funnier as we sit here, he's driving my car.
Wow.
I let him borrow my car today.
You should let him know that you're podcasting. he should join us here right now.
Yeah, he's a really cool guy. He, like I mentioned, he was instrumental in starting Summer Founders Program. He himself went through, I think it was the second class of Y Combinator. He sold his first company to Microsoft, and now he's an angel investor out in San Francisco. But yeah, really really cool guy. He needed a car while in town, and he's driving my car right now.
Oh my god. He was the one who moderated the panel on Tuesday.
Yes.
He is just super inspiring. He's done this twice. He's not even like it's not like he's done it just once and he's like, okay, let me just sit here and do venture capital all my
Oh my goodness,
life.
yes. He is you could call him a serial entrepreneur. I mean, he started Zobni, sold it to Microsoft, then he started Sincerely, and now he's invested in 90 other companies as either an angel investor or through his venture fund.
Got it. I think that's amazing. So how does so a lot of Penn Staters tend to have these ideas after they graduate.
hmm
So what do you think is the best way they can liaise with some of these people? Come back to the Penn State community at Invent Penn State. What do you think is the best way they can do that?
Specifically as an alumni?
As an alum, yep.
Yeah, so if you the best way to do it is when you are still a student. There's a lot of student-only programs, and there's a lot of favor given to students. If you have an idea as a student, I definitely recommend getting involved as soon as possible. But even if you're an alumni, then yeah, come to these events and see these pitch competitions and get involved with the Launchbox. The Launchbox does accelerator programs. I believe the Fast Track Accelerator program, which runs once in the fall, once in the spring, is open to students and community members. So even as an alumni or community member, there are plenty of ways to get involved with the Launchbox.
That's insane, and I think Penn State. I mean, sometimes I really underestimate how much Penn Staters have done in the startup community, and I think it's great. People like Brazina are right up there, and they're super inspiring. So I also wanted to ask you about how you decided to go over fund. Excuse me. How you decided to go over funding for your startup, and tell me more about. So this summer founders happened in 2022. So you finished that thing in August 2022. So how have the last 9 months looked in terms of funding? Are you attracting any venture capital?
So to get off the ground, myself and my business partners, we pooled together about $7,000. That's what we used to buy the material that we needed to prototype the first sleeping platforms, some of the tools we needed, and general costs like that. And then last spring, when I got involved with IncU, Lion Tank, and Summer Founders Program, and a couple other miscellaneous startup events, we were able to receive $38,500 in just straight checks to the company from Penn State, which was crazy. I had been paying tuition for years, and now all of a sudden I'm getting checks in the mail from Penn State
Let's
to fund my company. I felt like I played the Uno reverse card on Penn State. So that really helped defer some costs and allow us to grow faster. And now we're at a point where our recurring revenues fund larger inventory purchases and new product development. So that's how we're growing now. Whether or not we seek venture capital in the future, it's on the table. I don't know yet if we will or not, but it's certainly being discussed, because venture capital or angel investment or any type of outside capital raise, it's super interesting, and it's a great way to grow your company faster and capture the market faster. And I do believe that the car camping market and the vehicle-based camping market is growing very fast right now. And we do have a great opportunity to capture market share. So it's definitely something we're considering.
That's awesome. And so right now you've pretty much bootstrapped a large section of it.
Yeah, I mean, we still, the three of us own 100% of our company.
Oh, that's fantastic. Okay.
Which is another interesting point to bring up, because we did receive $38,500 from Penn State, but that was called non-dilutive funding. So that is the cheapest money you can get. We don't give any equity to Penn State. There's no loan repayment. There's no interest. There's nothing like that. That's just straight checks to our company. And you can't really get money like that. Money always comes at a cost, either interest or equity or something.
Got it. I think isn't that how most founders programs work at least the college level?
Well, maybe at the college level, yes. But if you look at something like Y Combinator, then, or any really, lots of public facing accelerator programs, the accelerator program does get a portion of equity from your company.
Got it. I think in Y Combinator it's like 7%.
I do believe it's 7%.
Yeah, which is kind of reasonable because they're giving you 500,000.
Yeah.
So I love that. Now here's the thing: when you're an early stage entrepreneur, I'm not talking about now. I'm talking about in 2021, 2022. Did you at some point have a mental model as to when you're going to fund how much? Essentially, was there this mental model where you're like, okay, Series A in 2023, Series B in 2025? Did you have that mental model?
No, we didn't. And when we started the company, my co-founders and I, we had a conversation amongst ourselves that we were going to be scrappy. We were going to do this in a way where we were careful with our money and we could grow it 100% on our own if we had to. So moving forward, we're reconsidering whether we do raise outside money or not. But at the end of the day, if we had to, we could keep growing bootstrapped. So that was our plan.
Got it. And I think that's a wonderful plan, right? And I think you have a better sort of sense of the market in the car camping industry now than you did maybe 2 years ago, right?
Yeah, we do now. And that plan, the way we looked at it, really influenced the decisions we made in the beginning of the company. So we didn't rent out a manufacturing space. We used my dad's garage. And when we designed the product, we had all these criteria for the features for the design of the product. Like, we wanted it to be universally fitting. We wanted it to be lightweight. We wanted it to be able to ship easily. But we also, for the first sleeping platform we made, we said we had to be able to build it ourselves because we didn't have the capital to fund outside scaled manufacturing at the time. So we had to be able to build it ourselves. Now, that's not how we do it anymore, but we did do that for the first platforms, our MVP, as they call it.
Got it. How do you do it now exactly?
Well, now we leverage some more advanced manufacturing processes. So I don't know if you're familiar with CNC machines, but it's a...
No, I'm not.
So it's a... Okay, you know how big like a sheet of plywood is?
Yeah.
It's a 4-foot by 8-foot sheet of plywood. So now we use machines where you put the sheet of plywood on the machine and a router with a spinning bit comes down and it's controlled by a computer and it moves all around the sheet and cuts out the profile of the pieces and then it all fits together. It's like flat pack furniture style.
Okay.
I don't know if you've seen that before. It's kind of like IKEA, but so that machine cuts everything out and then we pack it together.
Got it. And you manually pack it together, is it?
Well, yeah, somebody does. Yeah, we pack it together before we ship it. And so something like that was off the table when we were first starting because those machines cost like $60,000. And so A, there's the cost barrier, and B, we didn't know how to design for a CNC machine, like design a product that can be CNC'd. So in the beginning, we designed a product that we could cut with a circular saw and a $200 drill press that we got from Amazon. And like, that's how we kind of Frankensteined our first sleeping platforms.
No, I love that. That's very hustly. So you did this thing, and that's for the first few sort of customers that you had in 2021, 2022. Now you have this automated sort of setup that pretty much does it for you. So how many of these packs do you sell every week, month? What's the demand like? We sell upwards of 10, 15 a month, depending on the month.
depending on, we're still trying to figure out seasonality, and we offer sales at different times. And that's one of the really interesting things about being an early stage startup. We're learning about our customers and our customer behavior.
Absolutely.
And now we started selling mattresses and accessories and window screens too. And some people buy the sleeping platform and the mattresses from us. Some people don't even buy the platform, they just buy the window screens. Some people bundle it all together or buy just the platform. So we're learning that customer behavior.
Got it. And I think shout out to their website. I think it's a very well designed website, and I think people who are interested in hiking, PSOC, I'm talking to you. You should definitely be buying stuff out from them, especially if you're going on like a day trip to somewhere that's interesting and somewhere you cannot possibly afford an Airbnb. 15 is a very good number, by the way. 15 is a very good number.
Yeah. We before we outsourced, or before we started using more advanced machining techniques, we were still building them in my dad's garage when we were doing like that many a month, and it got out of hand. We couldn't do it, so I called up all my friends, and we were in my garage like staining wood and cutting wood that we got at Home Depot, and it was crazy. I just gave them beer and pizza, and they kept coming over to help me like every weekend, and we got through it.
I would do that for beer and pizza. So if you want to employ me, no. So the other thing that I think Nathan is kind of being very modest about is how durable the equipment is. So you basically spread it out when you want to sleep, and you carry it on your car, basically whenever you go hiking, and once you come back home, it's basically going to wrap itself into this really small box, right? And you just keep it. You don't really, it doesn't really occupy much space. It's very handy. You can just like take it with you whenever you want, right? And that's, I'm just talking about the vanilla, the sleep thing. And I think you also have those windscreens and all of that you append to that to enable better sort of travel.
Yeah, the sleeping platform, when fully assembled, is quite large. I mean, it extends up to like 6 foot 2 inches long. It's 4 feet wide. It's 2 people can sleep on it. But a lot of our customers live in apartments, so they don't have a lot of storage space. So the fact that when you're not using it, it packs down really small, and you can store it in a closet, is really important to them.
Got it. And tell me a little more about how your customer distribution is. Do you have a lot of people in the East who buy this? Are there people in California, Nebraska?
They are all over. Like, we recently mapped it out, and they're all over the place. There's hardly any concentration, except for California. There's a lot in California. There's a lot in Denver, Denver, Colorado.
Fantastic. Yeah.
But there's more on the East Coast than I would have expected. I mean, we saw them in New Orleans and Michigan, really everywhere.
Wow, that's amazing. That's really cool. I bet there are no Texans there, right? Texans don't like to hike.
Actually, this morning we sold one to Austin, Texas.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm very surprised because I spent about 15 days in Texas, and I found that people do not like the outdoors there. I don't know why. It's really weird. But yeah, that's awesome. So you have a very good distribution. Do you employ a few folks as well?
No, so we don't. It's just the 3 co-founders, and then when it comes to manufacturing, we outsource that to other CNC shops in Pennsylvania.
I love that. I think that's a very thrifty, cool idea. And at some point when you decided to move to that automated thing, that's really smart. Now, I have a question. When it comes to a product like this, right, that's for hiking and things like that, I'm sure you've had big retail brands reach out to you with some sort of a deal, right? They're like, okay, here's the thing, we will have it on our shelves because we have a very proactive hiking population or whatever. What is your response to that? And I don't think it's available in retail stores as of now.
You are correct. We haven't gone retail yet.
Okay.
There has been interest in that. We've had offers in that, and that's actually something that I go to Ethan Wendell for. So, yeah, I ask him to review the terms of these things, and he guides me on that.
And he does that?
Oh yeah,
What? That's awesome.
Ethan Wendell. Yeah,
you're the best.
he sends me the longest emails of like breaking down gross profit margins versus how much margin the retailers are going to expect, and logistics and shipping, all of that stuff. And over the course of 20 years of running Diamondback truck covers, he used to have a retail distribution model, but now they're just direct to consumer. So he's very pro direct to consumer, and he's been advising us to go that way too. And so far, we've
Wow.
only been direct to consumer. The only way you can buy them is through CarToCamp.com, and
Wow.
that affords us a lot of things. It affords us higher margins, more flexibility. We can change the design and iterate quickly. We can update our sales price, and we retain control and we retain higher margins. And that's really worked for us so far. And we're probably going to keep doing that moving forward.
That's awesome. So I have two big takeaways from this. The first one is essentially that there is a certain conviction you need to have to always be direct to consumer, right? You don't want to essentially pivot to having to sell it through Amazon or Walmart or anything like that, and you want to continue with this model. And I love that conviction. And also his products are very customizable, which means that me as the user can sort of pick the color, the size, and things like that, right, when I order it from CarToCamp.
Well, yeah, when you order from CarToCamp.com, we will tell you which model is going to be best suited for your car. We have a compatibility checker on the website, so there's not really that much that you need to do.
Yeah,
We take care of the customization, as you call it.
I hear you, and that's really cool. And my second big takeaway from this is Ethan. Wow, that's great. This man graduated from Penn State many years ago,
Yeah, 20 years ago or
20
something.
years ago, and he is back here advising people who are just about taking their first steps towards entrepreneurship. I love that, Ethan. That's great. Thank you for doing this. And that's okay, that's great. So now what do you think is the future for, not for you, for CarToCamp, just in terms of do you at some point plan to sell it to a larger organization, as in when you get offers? What's your gut instinct? And I want to know this primarily because I've seen that you don't want to sort of go into this circle of selling it and later regretting it, saying, okay, you know what, it grew 20x, we could have done that ourselves. So what's your gut feeling there? Is this something you
Yeah.
want to work on?
Well, we have a lot of work ahead of us. We really do. We are constantly innovating. We're adding new products. We have new products in development that you haven't even seen yet. We have many more ways to improve the car camping experience for our customers. And the fact of the matter is, where we go in the next few years is going to be driven by our customers. We go to overland shows, we go to overland expos, Great American Outdoor Show. We meet our customers, we talk to our customers, and they let us know what they need. So we're going to keep building what they need for for the foreseeable future. If one day an opportunity comes along to partner with another company to expand our capabilities to serve our customers better, then yeah, we'll certainly look at it then. But we got a lot of work to do.
Got it. I love that. And you're looking at these mostly middle income families that want to spend some time with 2 3 other people outdoors. Now tell me more about how you're going to accommodate people who have larger families with CarToCamp, because your current product is got for 2 or 3 people sleeping bag, right?
So yeah, you're absolutely right in that our current product is designed for 2 people to sleep in the back of the vehicle. But we have had customers before who have families, they have kids, and the way they've described it to me is, so our sleeping platform is designed so that you can fold it up and store it in the trunk of the vehicle when you're not using it, and you can drive around that way. So in that scenario, you can have 2 people in the front of the car and your 2 or 3 kids in the rear of the vehicle, in the second row of seats. And then when you get to the camp spot, the platform folds out, and you can use up all your space in there. Sleep the 2 adults in the car, and then you put the 3 kids in a tent on the ground or something like that. But
I hear you. The bears can take the kids first.
Yeah, that's how I've heard that they've solved that problem.
I hear you. I think that's a great model. What how much of your product is protected from predators? Do you have any sort of shielding nets or anything like that that sort of ensures people don't like
Yeah.
get eaten?
So we sell window screens on our website, and the way that those work is when you're sleeping in your car at night, you want the airflow from the outside, but you don't want the bugs to get in or
Yeah.
anything else. So you roll your windows down, and then this window screen slides. It's mesh and it's stretchy. It slides over your door frame there, so that the air gets in, but the bugs stay out.
Got it. And from bigger predators like bears,
Well,
mountain lions.
okay, so that if you're talking about bears, then it just comes down to the same old camping directions that you'd normally follow for tent camping or backpacking or anything else. Keep your smelly food away. Use a bear bag. So you put your food in a bag. You hang it from a tree, and you'll be safer in a car than in a tent anyway.
Got it. I hear you. I think that's a wonderful answer.
Yeah.
Much of it, I mean, you can't do much about it anyway. It's more like, yeah, I hear you. So I want to sort of step into your shoes for a second. Okay, if I were you, I would think of 2 trajectories as the future for CarToCamp. So 2 of these sort of fairly divergent ideas. The first one would be building a very modular setup for camping, where essentially you have this CarToCamp product for which you pay like $300 or $250, and you and your family, which is like 4 people, essentially get on it, and it's completely self-sustainable. It's a place where you can store food, store water, go to any possible remote corner within the United States, and you're safe. Something very modular. And I know that the engineering sort of aspect of it is not very problem heavy. It's very easy to solve. I think it's other things that matter, things like what happens if you go to a remote corner, and something very modular. The other aspect of it would be sort of the yeah, you've traveled a lot, right? You've traveled to like different parts of the United States, so maybe sort of having this tour pack where you're like, here's the thing, guys. CarToCamp is offering a free, not a free, sort of a subsidized tour for 10 families to sort of experience a product, see how it is to be in this new version of the Airbnb where you don't pay as much and you have 5 times as much fun. That's what I would do. What's your idea? What's
Yeah, that sounds like a super fun way to fun form of outreach to connect with their customers and give more people the opportunity to car camp. And that's something we're getting into more as time goes on. I'll be honest, the first year of our sales, we just struggled to get our platforms to our customers. We had to deal with inventory and lead times. We didn't always have enough platforms on stock to get to the people that actually wanted them. So as we continue to have better cash flow and larger inventory, that's when the outreach programs like that come in, and partnering, like someone brought up this week, partnering with colleges and their outdoor clubs, sending platforms for people to experience car camping that way. And overall, it kind of does come into this other category of, sure, we make the products that enable you to go car camping, but there's still an educational aspect to it too. So we try to write blog posts and create YouTube videos that give the best tips for car camping, because if you haven't gotten into it yet, it's kind of a weird concept, and there are definitely best practices, and that's what I'm trying to teach through CarToCamp. Not just facilitating through products, but also teaching.
Got it. No, I love that. And I've seen some of your videos. Your blog posts are really, really fun. But I think if you're a 7-year-old growing up in Pennsylvania, maybe Reading, and you see those videos, you are going to convince your parents to buy this. You are. It is so good. Your videos are so fun. And I think the way you narrate things, right, in your videos, it's very personable. I really like it. It's very fun. It's more like, I don't know why. I think it's your personality. You have this sing-song voice, and you're like, oh my god, hey, I'm doing this really fun thing. And then it's very non-intimidatory, so people who haven't really gone hiking would not get intimidated. It'll be something really cool you want to try. It's like basically the Pennsylvania version of a Caribbean cruise, and I love that. I love the way
It's a wonderful way to put it.
yeah, I love the way you narrate things. It's just so funny, and it's like I can relate to it so much. I don't know why.
Yeah, I mean, if you actually want to talk about like branding of a new company,
Yes.
it's an interesting concept that I've kind of become more aware of as time has gone on. In the beginning, I thought I thought that we would create this brand and I'd kind of stand behind it. Like I'd be behind the scenes. But over time, the more I get in front of the camera, the more I write blog posts, the more I personally attend the shows that our customers go to, that personal touch has mattered to a lot of people. So when we get new reviews pop up on our website of our products, people will often say, I exchanged emails with Nathan. He's so helpful to explain this and that, or I met Nathan at Overland Expo East, or I enjoyed the videos. So as time goes on, I'm putting my personal brand, I'm intertwining it more with the CarToCamp brand because it has been an effective way to communicate with customers, to educate them, and it seems to be working for everyone.
Got it. And that's a very conscious decision you took with the branding, right?
It is.
I love that.
Over time, yeah.
I love that. I think that's really, really cool. And I really think our viewers should be checking out his videos. But you know what? Here's the thing. I think Nathan is a little bit of a nerd. So he's a hiking nerd. He likes photography and he likes live music. That is such a classic definition of a nerd in Pennsylvania terms. Like, it's really cool. Here's the thing. The funny part is I was setting up my camera equipment right about before we started recording, and Nathan went up to the tripod and he sort of adjusted it. He's like, bro, that's how you sort of level it. I'm like, wow, that's like that's very obvious, but it didn't strike me at all. So tell us more about your photography thing. You were a wedding photographer, weren't you?
Yeah, man.
That is so cool.
You don't even know how much of a nerd I am about cameras. I love cameras. I love photography. I love videography.
I love that.
Throughout college, I did wedding photography, wedding videography, corporate work, corporate headshots, grad photos, you name it. And I absolutely love cameras. I almost went to film school.
But
why? Why?
Yeah.
I love the puzzle of creating the perfect visual image. So when you talk about photography and videography, it's a balance of light. It's shooting full manual. You're balancing ISO, aperture, shutter speed, and I don't know, it's an art that I love, and I love doing it throughout college as a job. And now I shoot all of our content for CarToCamp, which is just so much fun because I'm getting to do what I love from a photography perspective, and it's our own brand.
Wow. So you pretty much record the videos of you speaking as well?
Yeah, every video
That
you
is
ever
so
see of
funny.
me was produced by me in the middle of the woods. I go out there with my own tripods and cameras and microphones. I edit it all myself. It's super fun.
That is so funny. That's like nerd vibes 101.
Yeah.
But that is so funny. So you were into cameras even before you started your Penn State journey. You were
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It started in like 7th grade. I started making my own films in Windows Live Movie Maker. And I would recreate films from Lord of the Rings with my siblings. So we'd all get dressed dressed up as
funny.
different characters and reenact scenes, and I'd film them.
That is, that gives me the very classic sort of America's Funniest Videos 2007 vibes.
Oh, it really was. I had a Nikon Coolpix camera that I got for Christmas.
That is so funny. And then you sort of tap one of your siblings and they fall off. I can like imagine this thing happening
Yep.
because I used to watch videos like this growing up. It was so funny back in the day.
Oh my goodness! I bought a green tablecloth from like Party City, and I hung it up in my parents' house, and I put little X's on it with Sharpies, and I filmed green screen scenes and did like 3D motion tracking, and it was pretty cool.
Wow.
It was pretty cool.
And how many siblings do you have?
I have 2 younger siblings. My sister, she's a sophomore at Penn State here right now,
Okay.
and my brother's in 9th grade.
That's awesome. So you bullied them, right? Like that's how it worked, right?
Well, I tried to convince them to act in my films for me, and then my brother started getting greedy and charging me. I'm like, dude, you're 5 years old. I'm not gonna pay you to be in my film. So I gave him like a lollipop.
That man's a hustler. Wow.
He
that's
really is.
so funny. That's so funny. So and then you professionally did this thing once you came to Penn State with weddings.
Yeah, that was my income. I was able to second shoot under an incredible photographer in Reading, Pennsylvania for about 5 years. I mean, I still shoot with him, and he taught me everything I know about photography. I was so bad when I started, but he kept bringing me back and teaching me a little bit by little bit, and now I shoot weddings on my own.
That is awesome. So what state college? Do you think weddings happen in state college?
Oh yeah, weddings definitely happen in State College. They happen
What?
everywhere. Weddings, yeah, there's a lot of weddings going on. And honestly, if you want to get into wedding photography, now's the time. Now's the time.
People are getting hitched, is it? Okay, that's so
Yeah.
funny. The worst part is I have never been invited to a wedding in state college. So shout out to my viewers. Here's the thing: if you're getting married and you're having a wedding, just call me. No, I'm just kidding.
Throughout college, I've probably been to over 50 weddings
What?
because I shoot them.
Oh, because you should.
Yeah.
Here's the thing: can I be your assistant? I kind of want to.
Yes.
Yeah.
If you want to learn wedding photography,
Yeah.
come along with me. I'll show you how it goes.
So that would be awesome. I don't even want wedding. I just want to be in a wedding. I've never been in an American wedding. I just want to. I don't know, like
They're
crash
fun.
one.
They're fun. I've been to some crazy weddings.
Dude, I want to do that. So here's the thing: the next time I come to Reading, just like if you have a wedding shoot, I'm gonna just come with you. I'm just gonna help you with your equipment or whatever. Just like make me do the menial tasks. You don't have to pay me. I will eat and sort of talk to the guests, and that's about it.
You'll fit in really well.
I will. It's gonna be so fun. They're gonna be like, "Who's this guy?" We didn't.
That's
call him.
my assistant. He's very important.
That's exactly. There we go. You don't have an assistant right now, right?
I do have some assistants that I call in when I need them.
Okay. I should be top of that list. Just
Well,
saying, yeah.
you just moved to the top.
Thank you so much, dog. That's so funny. So you went to have a bunch of. I mean, you went through Boy Scouts and
Yeah.
high school, right? So the funny part is, I was watching The Office yesterday. I don't know if you watched The Office. It's like it's a very Pennsylvania vibe, and Michael Scott talks about how he has to donate to a charity and he chooses the Boy Scouts. Are you guys that underfunded?
I don't know how it's portrayed in The Office. Admittedly, I've never watched The Office, but
What,
I know.
bro? Scranton is like
I know.
a 2-hour drive.
I shoot weddings in Scranton all the time.
What, you're
But I don't know how underfunded Boy Scouts is. I know it's a good program. I mean,
Okay.
I love the program. I spent my whole adolescent years in it. Taught me a lot. Got me into the outdoors. Basic leadership skills.
That's awesome. That's awesome, and I think yes, getting you out onto the outdoors is sort of a great achievement for them.
Yeah. I mean, well, actually, I started in Cub Scouts, so I don't even know when that starts. When you're like 7 or 8 years old,
Oh wow.
and I was in it till I was like 17.
Oh, that's awesome. So that's really cool. So what do you have? So I want you to tell me what you have planned for the summer, for in your life and in CarToCamp's life.
Yeah, well, typical of a startup founder, my life is CarToCamp's life and vice versa. It's one and the same, but I've got some really cool stuff
I
coming
feel
up.
sad. No, I'm just kidding.
Well, it's what you sign up for.
Yep.
And it's really great in a lot of ways. So this summer, I am going on tour. I'm
Okay.
taking CarToCamp on tour.
Okay.
I'm hitting every overland show in the country, essentially. We're going to every Overland Expo. We're going to Moore Expo. We're going to Outdoor Adventure Expo. We just did Great American Outdoor Show. So these shows are in like Missouri, Colorado, Arizona, Utah, Oregon. They're all over the place. And I'm going to spend about 4 months going to these shows. We're an exhibitor at all these shows, so we display our products and we interact with customers. We ship inventory to every show, so we can sell these products directly at the show. And in between the shows, I'll just be car camping. I'll be
Okay.
car camping across the country. I'll be making videos. I'll be making guides to, like I was talking about before, the best practices to car camping, some of the best hidden secrets to car camping in, say, Utah or the Sierra Nevada range in California.
Yeah, just
And-
don't go to Ohio. We'll be fine.
No, I won't be in Ohio.
Yeah, thank God.
Um,
they have nothing here.
No, they're they just got
Such as
trains.
football. Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, that's what I'm doing this summer. It'll be about 100 days of car camping, and it's a real full circle moment because I went on this awesome car camping adventure. It'll be 3 years ago this summer, which inspired the company. We built the company up over the last 2.5 years, and we got our products out the door. We're getting them to customers, and now I'm taking it on tour and I'm hitting the road again. And I'm doing it right this time. I'm doing some things a little bit differently this time. Like I bought a portable shower this time.
Oh wow.
I have Starlink, which Elon Musk just sent a bunch of satellites into space, and now you can get global internet access, high-speed internet. So I have that set up in my car. I have solar panels, so I'm doing it right this time, and I'm hitting every show.
Are you still sleeping with Nick or?
No, I'm not. Yeah, he's
Oh.
busy in flight school. So I have 100 days of car camping coming up, and I'm
That is
trying
so
to
sad.
recruit a friend or friends to join me. So if anybody
Bro.
wants to
Yeah.
go on an
Shout out.
awesome road trip,
You should open up a Bumble account only for this. Be like, hey guys.
yeah, let me know. I mean, I'm
looking
already
for a
going.
Friend.
Gas is paid for.
But gas is paid for. There
Yeah.
you go. It's a you can't really miss deals like this unless you're part of the summer foundation.
You can't miss deals like this. But the problem is that I'm running into is all my friends have jobs.
lives.
And they can't just like leave their
Oh.
jobs and lives.
Sucks.
So it's a cool idea.
You got to find the right vagabond.
Yeah,
think you'll
I gotta
them.
find.
Yeah.
I'm looking.
Yeah, that's awesome. I will advertise for you.
Yeah.
If anybody wants to join Nathan Bonslaver, hard guy, mid-20s,
Professional car camper.
professional car camper, gonna be a billionaire by 30. Yes, you should be joining him. So here's the thing, Nathan. My last question to you is: here's the thing. There's a lot of people in Penn State who are. So I have this very funny interaction with a lot of American citizens. So I'm international, right? So when I see undergrads who are like, "Oh, I'm hunting for a job," I'm like, why? Like, can't you just start your own thing? You live in central Pennsylvania. There's so many entrepreneurs out here in ED, Belfont. Like, they're all really enterprising folks. Why can't you just like go talk to them and be like, hey, I want to start? I don't know. I don't really see that sentiment with a lot of them. What do we do to push them out of their houses into not jobs?
So there's nothing wrong with getting a job, getting a good job. There's really nothing wrong with it. Your parents will definitely probably be happier with you, and it's a much more secure way to live. But there is a certain number of people who just enjoy doing their own thing. And I have to caution that it's a really, really different life. I have so many unknowns in my life. Every day I wake up, there's just a million problems. Everything's going wrong at all times. I'm constantly fixing broken things. And my work day's not done at 5 o'clock. I work 7 days a week. I often am working 12, sometimes 16-hour days when I have to, and it's really quite different. Now, for someone like me, I thrive in uncertainty. I love not knowing what I'm doing next week. I love constantly solving problems, so it works for me. And what's so great about now and the growing entrepreneurship network at Penn State is for people like me and for people that do want to start their own thing, they don't have to go any further than the launch box. I mean, you get in touch with your local launch box,
Yep.
you tell them about your ideas, and they will give you the framework and the structure to best launch your own company.
Yep. And the support there is sort of unprecedented. There's so much support there. It's just on a different level. Yeah.
It blows my mind that more people don't know about the
That's
amazing
right.
support out there.
That is so right.
It's the wildest, best kept secret of Penn State,
Penn State,
but it's
I
not
agree.
even supposed to be a secret.
It's not even
It's
supposed
just
to be a secret.
it's rather new, and there's just so much happening at Penn State that sometimes
I
things fall
agree.
through the cracks. But if you're interested in entrepreneurship, I mean, get in touch. It's there.
I agree. And there's the Innovation Center, Eric Barron Innovation Hub. That's what it's called. Um, Today and tomorrow, Nathan and I are going to be attending a bunch of events. We are going to be nerding it out. It's going to be a lot of fun. And I think 2023 is going to be a great year for entrepreneurs at Penn State and outside. And spearheading that movement is Nathan Bonslaver, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for coming on the Karthik Gurunathan show. Thanks for your time.
Thanks so much for having me.
Yep.